Hey guys, this is Aegis, and I've been a little bit busy, so I haven't been able to cast the CSL games on the day of the game, so I haven't been able to cast them live, but here it is from the replays, UMBC versus the US Naval Academy. And over here we do have Zinger XPN, our teal Protoss player, going to be playing as, well, the Protoss player for UMBC. His opponent is going to be Mickey D, the yellow Protoss player from the US Naval Academy. And in a Protoss versus Protoss, this is going to be interesting. Across map, we'll probably see some sort of Blink with Robo build, Blink with Observers, or just regular Immortals coming out and trying to take an expansion while defending against the aggressive Blink build. We'll see which player decides to go for what. And Zinger XPN now spending his Chrono Boost here. And yes, it is MLG's Antigua Shipyards. Forgot to say that about this map. Talking about this stuff from MLG, Naniwa did, spoiler alert, win the MLG championship for 2011, and there's the probe scout from Mickey D checking out the inside of Zinger XPN's base. And Zinger XPN usually plays Zerg. He used to play Protoss probably a year ago, so we'll see how his Protoss is doing now after a year of playing Zerg, essentially. Over here, Mickey D throwing up his gas as well. So both players doing the exact same thing so far. Zinger XPN's build appears to be just a few seconds ahead. The probe getting chased around over here does take a couple of hit points of damage, but it will heal back up to 20 HP very quickly as those shields regenerate. And in Protoss versus Protoss now, there's the Blink build that I was talking about earlier with the Blink mobility, trying to out-micro the Immortals, trying to do some damage, maybe take out the natural expansion. I've seen people force field the ramp while the army is stuck inside the main, and then just snipe the Nexus at the natural expansion or destroy some of those probes. Good luck, have fun out of Zinger XPN at the 3-minute mark, and there's the Cybernetics core coming up for both players. And the second gas is underway for Mickey D, so he's definitely going to be doing some teching action. This indicates either the Immortals or going for the Blink with Observer. Zinger XPN also getting up his gas. No additional gateways for either player right now, so it's not going to be any sort of 4-gate with 2 gas build. Not too great on a map, especially one with a ramp like this. The probe from Zinger XPN does get in here and see a full scout. He's actually still chrono boosting probes. That's very interesting. Usually in Protoss versus Protoss, you drop all of it on the Cybernetics core. Looks like Zinger XPN has also done the exact same thing, dropping a pylon over here. It will be able to harass the 3rd expansion if we get that far in this game. There's the probes returning home, and the first stalker advancing across the map for Zinger XPN. There's one stalker up on top of the ramp for Mickey D, so he's not going to be able to do too much damage with this one stalker here. It looks like the probe does get the first shot off, but this probe will die to the stalker, and the stalker on the high ground for Mickey D will chase the stalker of Zinger XPN back. It will fall back, and it looks like a couple additional gateways on the way, as well as the robotics facility. So we're going to be going for a 3-gate with Immortal build. The Immortals are going to be coming out a tad bit. Oh no, that's normal. I thought these 2 gateways were the same timing, and this was late. But you do get your 2 gateways first, drop a robo, and then your 3rd gateway comes up for this build. And it looks like Mickey D will be going for the Blink with a robo build. And I didn't see the order of these buildings, so I'm not sure if that's the exact correct build order, but I assume it is. This is the last divisional play week for the Collegiate Star League, so you go ahead and check them out at cstarleague.com. Their sponsors are TT Esports and Twitch.tv. Looks like the sentry will get taken out, and that's a huge hit there, not throwing down the force field. and he could have trapped both of those stalkers. Looks like Zinger XPN will retreat with the both of them. He may lose them here. One stalker does fall, and the other one is trapped in the corner. Nice pickup here from Mickey D. And there is a Nexus on the way for Zinger XPN. But the probe of, no, that's not a probe. There's a supply depot over here. First, War Prism is on the way. That's interesting, not going for an Immortal first. Mickey D actually not getting an Observer out. He's going for an Immortal for himself, so I'm not too sure what his Blink is going to be used for as of this point. Usually you get out these 3 gateways, Blink, and then an Observer. You'll be able to harass here, jumping up and down the high ground, also trying to snipe the Nexus over here. Maybe a couple of probes as well. Zinger XPN's little bit of aggression has delayed the expansion for Mickey D. But if at this point, since Mickey D has taken out so many units, he could have gone for the Blink with Observer build and done quite a bit of damage here, seeing that Zinger XPN has a single sentry back at home. And there's the War Prism coming in for Zinger XPN. Does this actually see the... no, it looks like he has an Observer over here. I thought Mickey D might have saw the little load up over here. Looks like the War Prism is standing by to cause a retreat, to allow for and retreat, and it looks like all of the probes now getting pulled off the line. Blink being used over here. The War Prism will have to retreat into non-phasing mode. What is it called? I guess just regular War Prism mode, and it looks like the Nexus is complete for Zinger XPN. He will be able to get some efficient mining, and a Stargate is out for Zinger XPN. This is getting a little bit interesting, and don't know what he's actually planned for the Stargate. Haven't really seen a Stargate build in a while. Maybe getting a couple of Phoenixes to lift those Immortals for a very strong attack, allowing those Stalkers to do some additional damage. There's an Observer over here for Mickey D. It is positioned to be able to do some hopping up and down of the cliffs, but Mickey D mainly staying in a defensive position, and this is allowing Zinger XPN to come over here and continue to do some harassment with this War Prism. Immortal and a couple of sentries coming forward as well. They're going to be able to hop in here and pick off a pylon. This will depower one of these gateways if he does get it. He needs to go for that guaranteed damage. There it is, the guaranteed damage going down. Another pylon may fall. Looks like he's going to opt to go after the Stalker. He needs to retreat over here. Those Stalkers may be able to pick off this War Prism. It looks like the Immortals on the low ground and the sentries able to force field in a couple of those Stalkers. They do blink away. The War Prism almost falling with 18 HP remaining. Mickey D doing a pretty good job of defending this. He needs to throw up additional pylons to repower these buildings. And it looks like Zinger XPN with this harassment will return back home. He's got additional gateways up. Stargate hasn't really made anything as of yet, so still curious to see what he's trying to do. A fleet beacon. He's going to be dropping a fleet beacon right under that Observer of Mickey D, so Mickey D knows that there's a fleet beacon on the way. We'll see what his reaction is. And Zinger XPN also going for a what? A robotics bay along with the fleet beacon. That is so weird and very interesting. Mickey D not making as many probes as he should be. Let's take a look at the unit count. Mickey D is way far behind in terms of the probe count. He's actually completely stopped making probes. That's not good. He needs to keep making probes to be able to mass up on units. He's got a second gas on the way, but once he got more guys off of mineral mining to be able to take that gas, he's going to hurt a lot from not being able to make those units. Looks like Zinger XPN does see this force over here. He's even zapping away at these rocks with this probe for a long time. And it looks like Mickey D will spot this pylon and clean it up. And Zinger XPN taking a very bold 4th expansion. Basically what he's done is teched to 2 different tech paths, getting Phoenixes, having no army. Don't agree with what he's doing actually. I'm really confused, and Mickey D is not playing very well right now. I have not seen pro production for probably 3 or 4 minutes, and that's a lot of probes not made. In the units tab, Mickey D is so far behind right now, and there's a huge drop over here. Force Field's taking down a bunch of those probes, and the Stalker's finally blinking in. No wonder the probe count was falling as I was talking. Did not notice that. My apologies. Mothership is on the way for Zinger XPN. I have no idea what to think. about this game anymore. He's even grabbed the War Prism speed upgrade. Does he still have that War Prism alive? No, it looks like it did fall. And Mickey D is so far behind. Finally now Chrono Boosting probes. He's even had full energy on all of these Nexi. And Zinger XPN just playing a better Protoss all out. There are carriers on the way. I love carriers. For those of you who do not know, I make carriers all the time. I think they're great. Essentially, they're a unit. If you win with them, you tell your opponent with that unit that you've won 10 minutes ago. And Zinger XPN now having a substantial army. However, Mickey D does currently have the stronger army right now. Phoenix is out on the field for Mickey D. He's going to be able to try to shoot down a carrier. Carriers are very good against Phoenixes, especially in these small numbers. Phoenixes don't do a lot of damage to carriers at all, and this Blinkstalker Immortal Force trying to get in here. Looks like a little bit of damage being dealt by the War Prism from Mickey D, trying to kill some of these gas mining probes. Let's take a look at the workers kill. Mickey D killing 4 workers there. Nice pickup for himself, and also seeing that there are carriers on the way. Second carrier has been queued up. First carrier is going to be out on the field. Mickey D holding position in the center, getting out more Phoenixes, as well as the +1 ground armor interceptors now being created for that first carrier. Zinger XPN with an additional stalker inside of his War Prism, continuing to chrono boost out those probes. He's getting a very strong economic advantage right now. 55 probes, and it looks like the attack forward, they're going to be trying to take out this mothership over here. Looks like the Phoenix is doing an okay job of taking it down, but all of the ground units for Zinger XPN are still alive, and he's throwing everything into that vortex. That mothership stays alive with 14 HP. Very perfect save out of there, and Mickey D's forces stuck inside there will get taken out. He was busy focusing that mothership, but he lost all of his units in that exchange, and the carrier staying alive. Back to the production tab, the carriers do have that speed upgrade for those interceptors now. More chrono boosts going down on the carriers, as well as additional warpins of zealots trying to take out these units here, just not quite able to do it. One zealot going to be lifted and brought to the natural expansion. Zinger XPN bringing his entire army back. And over here, Mickey D continuing to try to macro. He's got 1,000 in the bank. Zinger XPN himself not doing too well on the macro either. He could start making Colossus now. This is starting to become the CCC build that I always talk about. Chrono Boost, Carriers, and Colossus. And there's the Observer from Mickey D going to be checking this location. Second Stargate is up. Actually, off of 3 bases, you can make out of 3 Stargates very comfortably while making upgrades for your carriers. He's even going to take the gold expansion. This is a very solid lead out of Zinger XPN right now. Mickey D continuing to try to make a couple of units here, spending his entire bank of minerals right now. This is what I was talking about earlier. He didn't make probes, and after mining all that gas, he's got 1,000 in the bank, but he's unable to spend it just because he doesn't have the mineral income. Now taking a 3rd base. This is not going to help Mickey D at all because he doesn't have the probe saturation to transfer over there. He's got his War Prism headed over to the 3rd base of Zinger XPN, and since Zinger XPN is taking a forward stance now, he needs to throw possibly a couple of cannons at each base, and additional carriers now on the way. Carriers, I think 3 and 4 are about to pop. Is he getting air upgrades for them as well? Let's take a look. No air upgrades on the way for Zinger XPN. Additional gateways coming up, and another great thing that you can do when going carriers is that you have so much extra money. You can expand everywhere and get everything that you want. Zinger XPN getting out these carriers right now. Money as in you have a lot of minerals. You don't get that much gas. Carriers are very gas heavy units, so you won't be able to make that many stalkers. But as of this point, Zinger XPN is looking so good, he can make those stalkers right now. He's even doing a huge drop over here with additional sentries. Looks like that War Prism is trying to retreat. It does have speeds, but the Phoenixes are just a tad too fast, and the War Prism will fall. The sentry is still doing a little bit of damage inside of the main. 40 probes to the 57 probes of Zinger XPN. He does want to get up to the 70 probe count to be able to get an even stronger economic advantage. but as of this point, I really don't see how Mickey D is going to come back in this. Carriers are popping out one after another. He's even getting the extended thermal lance now for the Colossi. First Colossus is on the way, and the gold expansion is up. Gas is going to get taken, and the gas income is just going to skyrocket and allow Zinger XPN to go full out CCC, going straight carrier and Colossus. And that is definitely a death ball to be reckoned with. Mickey D now warping in a couple of those High Templar. Maybe he wants to do some feedback on the mothership. With a feedback, it will take it down to essentially 100 health, and that'll be pretty easy to focus down. Other than that, Mickey D is in a lot of trouble. Look at the production tab. Mickey D is making nothing, and Zinger XPN is making everything on the books. +2 armor for the ground units coming up. Manor Nexi in the middle as well, so wow, that's a lot of money being spent. What is he trying to do here? Is he trying to spell? There's mineral patches in the way. Zinger XPN hanging out over here with his entire army, +1 air weapons is about to finish, and it looks like these rocks will fall instantaneously. More carriers out in the field, as well as more Nexi in the middle of the field. I guess he could distance mine several of these bases here. It looks like a couple of those stalkers from Mickey D will be able to intercept one of these carriers, and Zinger XPN is forced to pull back a little bit, and it looks like Mickey D is going to try to harass the gold expansion over here. The gas isn't even being mined, and here comes Zinger XPN with his overwhelming stalker. Colossus force, and the mothership does get fed back, and it does fall to 150 HP, but all of these units from Mickey D do get wiped out, and the Colossus doing huge amounts of damage. The Archon's not getting a chance to spawn. 2 additional carriers going to be popping out. Some harassment over here by Mickey D. This is what's sort of keeping him in the game, but really I don't know if there's much that he can actually do about this right now. He's going to try to target down the Stargate, but the entire force of Zinger XPN survived that encounter, and he's going to be able to push over here real soon. He's lost all the energy on his mothership, so there won't be any recalling into the main, but this third base is in danger. There's only a few stalkers out in the field for Mickey D. All of the probes now getting pulled off the line in retreat, and the Nexus will fall. Looks like the probes are now distance mining the far gold expansion, and the income for Zinger XPN is just going to be ridiculous in comparison to the income of Mickey D. He's actually kept the mineral fields inside of his main for so long because he's not been able to mine fully due to the lack of probes. And Zinger XPN still hanging out at 159 food, still making Nexi. There's that Nexus finishing up. He's mannered all his probes over there. Mickey D with the LOL, and I think that's equivalent to GG out of Mickey D. I think we'll see him leave the game real soon. Additional gateways coming up. He's got a lot of money in the bank. I really don't know what to say about that. He's got so much money in the bank. I feel like he could have such a larger army, but Zinger XPN has actually outclassed him in every way possible. The mothership is headed forward. I think he's going for a mass recall into the main, and the stalkers now headed towards the natural expansion. Mickey D trying to retake the third expansion over here. The mothership is headed towards the main. It does have enough money, enough energy for that recall. We're going to see that recall now, I think. No, it looks like he's recalled all of his probes into the main, and the probes are going to begin building pylons, and the natural expansion will fall shortly for Mickey D and his stalkers unable to take down all of these carriers, which now do have +1, and the +3 foreground is on the way. GG out of Mickey D in this game. Game 1 between UMBC and the US Naval Academy does go to UMBC. Congratulations to Zinger XPN. We're going to be headed to Game 2 between UMBC and the US Naval Academy. We'll see you guys there.